Hello, and welcome to this week's Pastor Capture. I am Pastor Ivy Smith, and this is Pastor Steve Stokes-Costello, Pastor Tammy Palermo, and we would like to talk with you just a bit about what happened last week. In our services, we ended our How Does a Weary World Rejoice series, and we ended up on Trust Your Belovedness, which is a passage where Jesus is baptized, and there's a voice that comes, which is the voice of God, and says, "In you I am well pleased, you are my beloved." And from that, we kind of synergize that we are as well the beloved in our baptism. I was in traditional service, Tammy was in modern service, Pastor Steve was at confirmation, and Sunday just flowed so beautifully.
This was Ivy's first time back in the pulpit since November, so everybody was excited for that. And
I'm glad to be back.
If you were not here, I encourage you to go back and watch it online. I was, as Ivy said, teaching confirmation, so I wasn't, but I watched both services online, and I loved in Ivy's sermon talking about her trip to Washington, D.C. with Lydia when she was a little younger. They went to the cherry blossoms, and just how beautiful that was, and how much Lydia especially just wanted to stay there and use that to really help us get in a sense of that's how God looks at us. That's how God. And I also loved, Ivy, you gave all these examples, Mount Everest and something else, and the Grand Canyon,
and
those
Northern
are not
Lights
God's,
and Southern Lights.
And I thought you were going to say God's most amazing
wonder of
the world is you, but I love that you said no, is the human soul. The human soul that has come to Christ.
Yeah.
So that really,
that soul that comes is,
that comes.
You know.
And then Pastor Tammy, I loved the reference to Henry Nouwen. If you're not familiar, look up Henry Nouwen, get a great devotional book by him. But the title of the book was
Life of the Beloved.
Life of the Beloved. Lots of references to that, which I thought was really wonderful and beautiful. And especially, it was Communion Sunday, it was Remember Your Baptism Sunday, and Henry Nouwen talked a lot about incarnational theology, which Tammy brought out beautifully. You know, we don't often think about that
Connection.
Embodiment, of Christ in our life that are like that. So beautiful messages.
We also commissioned Justin, and his family was here in modern and traditional at the same time. Our new worship director for modern service.
Beautiful, yes. And I got to teach confirmation, which is something I love to do. We talked about John Wesley and Methodism and history there, and we played a game of Jeopardy with all these questions about that. I got a collection of pennies, and I dumped them all out, and I threw some quarters and dimes and nickels in there, and everybody got to win stuff, and then at the end, they were invited if they wanted to, in the spirit of John Wesley, who is always about giving back, for them to give to Project Hope. And I think a couple of mentors threw some 20s in. So. But anyway, we had about $50, I think, going to Project Hope for that.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. And even though I was preaching in modern, Sunday school still happened, which was glorious. And they also talked about the baptism of Jesus. And they got to read this book, I Will Always Be Proud of You. And this book is really a great reminder of our belovedness. And
it's beautiful.
It's gorgeous. It's beautifully illustrated. And just so parents know, the books that we used for this sermon series that we used in Sunday school, there are copies in our library. I thought they were all so amazing that I went ahead and purchased them to put in our library because they're just they're stellar.
Very nice.
Very nice.
So then this Sunday for Sunday school, we're gonna go back to our Celebrate Wonder curriculum, and we're gonna talk about Jesus being the fisher of men.
Oh, okay.
So
I love that.
Yeah. And then in worship, we're starting a new series.
New series.
Justice or Just Us.
Yes.
5 weeks.
And so this is a great time. If you've been away, come and join us in worship. If not in person, join us online because it's the beginning of a new series. And this week, the Micah passage. Micah is 6:8.
Yes.
What does the Lord require of you but to do justice, love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God? And
Three simple rules.
But when you think about that, it seems to me that most Christians are least familiar with that justice aspect. So that's why we're going to focus on this for the next 5 weeks.
Right.
And it's going to have, starting the 21st, we've got videos from Amplify Media to go along with that. You can find links to that.
Yes.
Ivy will be preaching again at the traditional, and
Yes.
I'll be at the modern. And we're just going to kind of set the tone and stage of where justice fits in to our Christian walk. So
Yeah.
good
And a
stuff.
perfect time for Martin Luther King Day being
That's
Monday.
right.
Of,
That's right.
just kicking us off with that feel of justice and, empowering ourselves.
You know, we think about Martin Luther King Jr., and I think it's worth highlighting that.
That's your favorite guy.
He's one of my favorite guys.
Oh,
I got
yeah.
a picture. But, just to focus on the fact that he was a pastor.
That's right.
He was very influenced by Gandhi and, of course, nonviolence. And Anyway.
Howard Thurman. And,
Howard Thurman, another one of my faves.
Yeah.
Well, we can keep going. Because we're pastors.
Yeah. Just trying to capture it.
Yes,
So don't forget.
but
yes.
this Sunday, we invite you especially to be part
Yes.
of our receptions that are happening after each service.
Yes.
Receptions to welcome Bryant, our new youth director, and Justin, our new modern worship director. So we would love to have you out for those. So
After the 9 o'clock service, after the 10 o'clock service.
11 o'clock.
After the 11 o'clock service, come over and welcome them.
I think there's going to be some home-baked goodies and refreshments.
I heard about a cake. Somebody
Okay,
ordered a
yeah.
cake.
Those things
Always,
usually
that's
go better.
mentor. That's what we do.
Those kinds of receptions work a lot better in person. So
Yeah.
come on out.
Yes. Share, like, and subscribe. Thank you for joining us for this week's
Pastor
Capture.